is going to be my whole Funko Pop Deadpool collection. So, and this is going to take a while because as you can see, I have quite a few of these guys. And I've got some 10-inch, and we'll save the 10-inch for last. We'll do those dead last because I just don't have enough space, as you can see. So we're not going to do any of those crazy intros or none of those. Like, we're not going to talk about subscribing to the channel. We're not going to talk about sharing this video, because that's what I feel is the most important thing that you could possibly do to help support this channel, is to share the video. But we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about hitting the thumbs up. We're not going to talk about any of that stuff. We're going to get like right into these guys. And some of these guys we're gonna get out of the box, some of these guys we're gonna like leave in the box, but I'm still going to make sure that we get some like up close like footage of them, right? So I'm going to grab the Gamer Chase right off the jump, and then I'm gonna tell you why this is one of my favorites. So this is one of my favorite Deadpools because you don't typically see Deadpool without his mask on, right? And I wanna say that they called this one, I'm not gonna say it, but y'all all know what I was gonna say, right? What they called this one, and that's what I think they called this one, and that's why this one is going to be one of my favorites, just simply because you don't see him without his mask on a whole lot. And I'm not gonna get him out of the box, but we are gonna take a closer look at him. One of my favorite chases that I own is this one right here, and this is a really cool one. And if you would have picked up their mystery boxes, I think it was last year, not this past year, but the year before that, 2019, is when you could have grabbed these guys. They were really hot. They had them in all the different Marvel characters. Really awesome collection that they had going on there. But GameStop kind of disappointed me this year with the stuff that they did. And now I'm just going to kind of like start moving these guys off and get them out of the way. Now this is one of the most recent Deadpools that I managed to pick up. This one's going to be 661 out of the group. This is the zombie Deadpool. We will get this guy open and take a look at him real quick. Now the zombie line has been a really hot line. And if all of y'all remember, before they came out with the zombie line, I said I wasn't going to collect these guys all the way up until the San Diego Con, when they came out with that 10-inch thing. And that 10-inch thing to me is still the best zombie line that they've made. But let's take a closer look at this guy. Is a really hot line that they've come out with, and I can just really appreciate the work and the detail that went into this one. Now there's actually a comic book out there that is the whole like Marvel Zombies. As you can see, he has the sword going completely through him. I wish they would have done that on the 10-inch version of him as well, but we will see that at the end of the video. There's some stuff that I collect of Deadpool that's not necessarily like Funko related, like fig pens and some couple other stuff that I'm just gonna kind of like leave in I'm gonna leave them out of the video for the sake of the length of the video, right? So then we're gonna have the Deadpool as Bob Ross, which is also one of my favorites when it comes to Deadpool as well. He's number 319. Let's take a closer look at him. The funny thing is, I know that the Deadpool as Bob Ross is not really worth anything, so before y'all like tell me that he's in a soft stack and he probably shouldn't be, look, I already know. I get it. I'm already there. But the thing is, he already has this little ding in his box, and I didn't want to get any more dings in his box. And look, I'm a Bob Ross fan, so the fact that I'm a Deadpool and Bob Ross fan, then they put him together, was only a bonus. Moving on from that one is going to be, and this is one of them that I probably should put in a hard stack, and I probably will by the time this video is over, is going to be Deadpool as the French maid. Now they just recently did this one at the Funko Shop, is what I want to say that this one came out with. It was part of the Funko Shop, one of the releases that they did. I grabbed this one. I probably should have grabbed two of them. I didn't necessarily expect it to go up in price the way that it did, and I don't know where it's holding right now, but I want to say the last time that I looked at it, it was like at $40 somewhere in that category. This one is a little disappointing though, because it did come with the stand. I don't like the stands when they have to put stands with these guys. To me, it really starts to just mess up the whole idea of the figure, because if you lose the stand, then it's never going to stand right, then it's always going to be a little messed up. Let's take a closer look at him. This is one of the hottest Deadpools that they've come out with in a while. Now I say one of the hottest that they've come out with in a while. I have a couple of them that were sent to me by JKL that I think are equally as hot as this one. This one just has the whole French maid, and it's really cool. They did a great job with it, but you can see on the back there somebody's fingerprint. I mean, so there's some white fingerprint going on the back there. Other than that, look, it's a really phenomenal pop. Next in the lineup, let's pick this one. So this one's going to be the common version of this one, right? So this one's just going to be the common version of the chase. This is where it's the exact same pose. Everything with these guys are the exact same, with the exception that he has his mask on, right? I mean, so then it becomes pretty clear to understand why this one's a chase and this one's not a chase. I like it when the chase variances are easily recognized, right? I mean, I don't really like the chase variances that I have to work at a little bit to figure out why it's a chase variance. I don't like the ones that says, oh, well, this one has a puppet in his hand and this one doesn't have a puppet in his hand, and this one has a green handkerchief and that one has a... To me, that's to me is not a chase. That was just a variance that they covered up as a chase somehow, some way. Moving on from this one is just going to be the standard Deadpool. This is going to be the 80-year anniversary. I picked this one up. He's number 546 out of the group. They have him on the back there with his first appearance, and I want to say that it's the first appearance. Yeah, so it's his first appearance was the New Mutants number 98. If you can just pause the video real quick, take a closer look at that one. This one reminds me a lot of the 10-inch pops that they had at Walmart on Black Friday, not this Black Friday, but last Black Friday, 2019 Black Friday. That's what this one in his pose reminds me of. It reminds me of those ones that they did in the 10-inch, because every one of them that they did in the 10-inch kind of had the same pose. They either had a knife or a gun in their hand, and it was just basically Deadpool in this pretty standard pose, right? And that's what they did with this one. So this one to me reminds me a lot of that, and I'm sure that this one's supposed to be from the original appearance that they had in whatever, what year was it that they didn't give me the year that he was in there, but I'm sure that that's what this guy is supposed to look like. Let's take a closer look at him. Now, this one to me is a pretty standard Deadpool, if we're being honest. I mean, this one's what you kind of expect to see Deadpool as, right? I mean, he has his knife, he has his gun, he doesn't have his sword. So maybe in the original appearance he had this like crazy Bowie knife versus his sword, which has got this kind of like crazy curve to it. But it's still a really awesome Deadpool. You know, when these guys are kind of sitting in the corner, you don't really like realize how big your collection has gotten with these guys while they're just kind of sitting in the corner. Next is going to be the what do they call him? The superhero Deadpool. So this would have been the kind of like their Thanksgiving Deadpool that they came out with. He's holding the turkey and all of that good stuff. I actually did a picture with him. If you want to go check that out, it's all the way at the bottom of my Instagram. So all the way down at the bottom of the Instagram, you will see this Deadpool, and he's sitting by the oven, and I think that was one of the better pictures I did with these guys, because it just turned out really well. Almost looks as if he's taking it out of the oven, even though we all know that he's not, but that's the way it appears in the picture, is that maybe he is taking this one out. This one also come with a stand. You can see the pattern, right? As these guys kind of start to get crazy and they kind of start to add stuff to them, the weight and the proportions of them kind of start to get off, so they kind of have to start adding these stands, even though I don't like them. I wish that they would do some kind of a permanent stand, kind of like they do with the Star Wars stuff, so that you just don't have the problems that you have when it comes to these stands and then popping off, and they don't want to stay on the feet, and then you lose them, and all of that crazy stuff that happens when you have these guys. But let's take a closer look at him. This one's going to be another really hot Deadpool in my opinion, and as you can tell, all of these guys are bobbleheads. I mean, that's just the way that they made them. Every single one of them is a bobblehead because it's a Marvel character. You can see that he has his apron on and he has his mitts and his turkey. This to me was a really cool, like, a holiday, you know, it was a Thanksgiving themed pop, and to me that's really cool. But don't go anywhere, because I have saved the best for last, right? I mean, we still have some really awesome Deadpools coming up. And moving right along, we are going to go with the King Deadpool. Now this one was sent to me from JKL Awesome. I really appreciate him sending me these pops, and he actually sent me the sexy pose Deadpool as well, so I really appreciate that. Now the King Deadpool, you know, there's lots of things that you could say going on with him, but this is the one thing that I can tell you on the back of the sexy Deadpool and the King Deadpool that you don't see on the back of the other boxes, is they actually showed the comments back there. So if you want to pause for a second and take a look at that, that's the difference between these two boxes and the rest of them. The rest of them were pretty standard. They had Deadpool posed on the back, and that was just about it. These two, they actually put the comments on the back of them. And look, sometimes it's pretty awesome, sometimes it's not. I mean, sometimes it's confusing to try and figure out what they have going on the back of the boxes versus what they should have going on the back of the boxes. Now, typically on the back of the boxes is only the common variants, and that's what they have on there. And then stuff that's exclusive to other places like FYE, Hot Topic, Walmart, they're not necessarily considering a common, so those are the ones that are not going to be on the back of the box. This is undisputably, though. Let's take a closer look at him, and we'll talk about him then. To me, this one's interesting because we all know that this is supposed to be a Burger King, right? This is a play on Burger King, no matter how you want to look at it. That's what they did. They got the burger in his hand. He's got the whole like King Arthur sword going on there with the crown on his head. I love that they have him in this, like, I want to call this like a bathrobe, but I know that it's not a bathrobe, so don't like throw me any hateful comments down there. But they did a really good job when it comes just to creative factor to making this one, right? Phenomenally well. And that's the funny thing about Deadpool. He is so versatile and is posed in so many different things that we see him across so many different like platforms, from the French maid to the zombie to the King Deadpool, and now into the sexy pose Deadpool, which is one of them that I was looking for a while. I had a chance to pick him up one time. I had to pick and choose my battles, and we all know how that goes with Funko, right? At some point, you simply have to pick and choose your battles, and he was one of them that I had to pick and choose. And I want to say that I picked up a Captain Jack versus the Deadpool because that's just where my finances was leading me to. So I picked up the Captain Jack versus the Deadpool. I don't know how JKL had this like this connection with me going on at that moment, and he picked this one up and sent it to me. This is undisputably probably one of my favorites, if not the favorite Deadpool that is in my collection. He has this whole, like, what do they call them, the Diamond series going on. This was a Hot Topic exclusive. He's in the whole sexy pose. Let's take a closer look at him. Now, like I said, this is not undisputably, this is probably one of my favorite Deadpools in my collection, just simply because of the sexy pose he has going on, the glitter that they put him in. To me, this one just screams Deadpool on every way that I could possibly think of screaming Deadpool. This one does it, and it's just a really awesome part of your collection. If you don't have this one in your collection and you're a huge Deadpool fan, you should seriously go look for this one. I mean, because this one's going to quickly run up into being one of your favorites. And then hey, let's move some of this stuff out of the way first. Last but not least, when it comes to the 3.5 pops, I am going to pull out another one of my favorites, and this is probably the strong number 2 out of my collection. This is number 48 out of the collection. This is Deadpool on a scooter. So this is actually part of the Ride series versus like the Marvel series, or versus the Gamer series, or versus whatever series they have him as. This is going to be part of the Ride series. Now, as you can see, as I was saying a second ago, the back of his box is pretty like plain. It just shows him on the back. It doesn't show anything else, which is normally what you see when it comes to Deadpool. Normally when it comes to Deadpool, you see a pretty like plain background. Sometimes they only show half of him, sometimes they show all of him, but they almost never show anything else from that point, with the exception of the sexy Deadpool and the other one that it was sexy Deadpool and the King Deadpool. Both of those show you like all of them on the back. Now, the scooter also came with a ride, and that to me is really disappointing that the scooter came with the ride. But if you look at it and you look at the base, you can kind of understand why it had to come with the stand, because without the stand, this thing was never going to stand on his own. Let's take a closer look at it. A second ago, this one was going to be a strong number 2, right? And this one's almost a number 1. But that sexy Deadpool pose to me just pushes a little bit further than this one. You can see that they glued him onto the scooter though, because I got that glue spillover going on right there. That is just a little annoying when it comes to Funkos, if we're being honest. I think that somebody said one time that you could take a little alcohol and make that come off, and I'm just never going to do it. You can see that they got the stickers right there on the front. You know, I love chimichangas, all that good stuff. This is a really cool one. This is another one that I'm going to say, if it's not in your collection, it definitely should be. I mean, that's another one that I'm going to tell you that if it's not in there, you should really like rethink like your collection, because it simply should be in your collection. Now, here's the 3 that I didn't get open, and I didn't get this one open because it's a lot like the Chase. I mean, we all understand that, but I'm not going to grab my 10 inches and bring them over here. I'm just going to take you to them and we'll talk about them that way. Hey, just like I said a second ago, I'm gonna like take you around and kind of show you my 10-inch Deadpools. Now this is going to be the most recent 10-inch Deadpool that I picked up. This is the zombie Deadpool. The only thing that I wish that they would have done different with this one versus like what they did is I really wish that they would have just stuck that sword through him like they did on the 3.5, right? I think that just would have set it apart a little bit more. The gold one here is really awesome. I love what they did with him. I love the fact that they made him gold. Now these are some ones that I picked up at Walmart. These were Walmart exclusives. They were Black Friday. Now it wasn't 2020 Black Friday. I felt like we got a little cheated when it come to the Funko Pops on the 2020 Black Friday. These were simply going to be from the 2019 Black Friday. They came out with 5 of them. I managed to pick up 4 of them, mainly because I just didn't know that there was a variance to these guys. And moving into number 3, this was going to be pretty much the standard version of Deadpool that you see. This was also one of the other ones that I was just telling you a second ago came out on Black Friday. The variance was this guy right here. Now there was a variance with him with a gun in his hand, and then there was a variance with the swords. As you could see, I grabbed the one with the swords because I didn't realize that they had another variance to him. Moving right up from that's going to be the blue Deadpool. I know that there's one of the X-Men where he's having the blue suit on, and that's what's going on there. And then there's the gray Deadpool. Now this is going to be the 5 10-inch Deadpool pops that I have. Hey, look, I like my 10-inch pops. I have a slight obsession with these guys. Hey, I really appreciate you guys checking this video out. It's been a lot of fun. I didn't realize that my Deadpool collection had gotten to the size that it is until just here recently when I started like organizing everything and getting them put in the right spots. And if you're still watching this far along, this is the universe telling you at this point that you should be subscribed to this channel. You should definitely share this video because that is the way that you can help me the most as, you know, Patreons and just, you know, followers and subscribers or whatever it is we're calling them on this platform versus the other platforms. But that's the best way that you can help this channel out right now is to share this video. Let's get it out there. Let's get to that Wayne 5,000 that I'm pushing for this year, guys. And look, I truly appreciate you watching. Until next time, have a good one.